First question comes from Andrea on Instagram. Andrea asks, Zach, what are you enjoying most about spending time with your boys? And quite frankly, nothing. Nothing.
Frankly, nothing about that.
I'm sick of them, and I wish they would go back to school. John on Instagram asks, how did I deal with losing my leg at such a young age? And the fact of the matter is, kids are super resilient, aren't you guys? And they're tough, and they can bounce back from a lot of things that us adults can't even do. Along with the support from my family, and the support from my community, and the support from my hometown, Livonia, Michigan, raising me up in prayer, my family up in prayer, financial support, emotional support. Really, without the whole team kind of coming together for me at such a scary time, I don't think I'd be here right now, in this form anyway. So I'm forever grateful for that. Sean on Facebook asks, how would I react if one of my children expressed interest in being a professional wrestler when they get older? I would encourage this one probably to stay away from wrestling. He might be a better fit for ballet or something like that. But if my kids wanted to be a wrestler, man, whatever my kids want to do, they have my undying support, 1,000%. If they want to be a ballerina, you can be a ballerina, man. If you want to be a wrestler, you can be a wrestler. I will never, ever discourage my kids' dreams, or any kid's dreams for that matter, because I know what is possible when we put ourselves out there and we try something new and we keep coming back. And we become the best at everything that doesn't take talent. We show up on time. We have a spirit of service. We get up when we get knocked down, man. My life represents that, and that's the spirit that I want to instill in my kids, is that everything is absolutely possible, because I've experienced that. Christopher on Facebook asked if I'm still practicing DDP Yoga and what benefits do I get out of it, and the answer is yes. I've been doing DDP Yoga since 2015, I want to say, when I ran into DDP at a wrestling show, and he pulled me aside and he's like, bro, we got to get you doing the yoga. And I'm like, yeah, right. And then 3 days later, the whole DDP Yoga program shows up on my doorstep. And I looked at that as an opportunity from someone who's incredibly successful and has an amazing track record. And I committed to the 13-week initial program, and I fell in love with it about 3 or 4 weeks in, and I've been doing it ever since. The fact of the matter is, DDP Yoga has helped me tremendously in flexibility, in pain management, in tendon and ligament strength, agility, balance, core strength, everything that I need as an amputee to be successful as a professional wrestler, or to be successful as a speaker when I'm traveling the country in long airplane rides, and I'm in rental cars, and I'm in hotels. DDP Yoga has always come through, and it's always been super clutch. I'm also a level 1 certified instructor, so I run classes every week here in the Metro Detroit area. So if you'd like some more information on that, hit me up. If you're in the Metro Detroit area and you want to try DDP Yoga, hit me up, man. Come to one of my classes and I'd be happy to get you going. And William on Instagram writes, how did I get involved with CoolSpeak, the nation's leading youth engagement company? And that's kind of a funny story. I think in 2014, I was wrestling on a show in middle of nowhere, Iowa, in a middle school. And the promoter asked me to come in a day early to speak with the kids, to hold an assembly, to kind of, get the kids hyped for the show and maybe push some ticket sales. And I agreed to it. And I was a nervous wreck, because I think the number one fear out of anybody is speaking in public. And I'm no different than anybody else. And so when I was up there and I was giving this terrible speech, I was doing my best impersonation of a motivational speaker, and it was horrible. At a certain point while I was giving the speech, I noticed one girl looked to her friend next to her, and she said, I like him. He's funny and so inspirational. And at that moment, boom, it kind of hit me like, yo, this is impactful, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. And I had that feeling when I was giving the speech, the same feeling that I had the first time I stepped foot, sorry for the pun, in a professional wrestling ring, which was, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be at this moment. And it was spiritual in nature. So when I got home, on the long drive home, I thought to myself, how can I do this more often? And maybe how can I help support my family doing this? How can I make a living doing this? And so when I got home, I Googled youth empowerment speakers, and I got a list of 32 names, 32 emails of youth empowerment speakers all over the country. And I emailed every single one, and I said, hey, my name is Zach. This is my story. I want to do what you do. How do I do it? Can you point me in any direction? And nobody emailed me back except for one. One person emailed me back, and his name is Carlos Ojeda, and he's the president and CEO of CoolSpeak. And the only reason he emailed me back and expressed any sort of interest in me or my story or helping me along my journey was because he is a WWE fan, and he saw me wrestle in WWE a million years ago. And that started that relationship with CoolSpeak, and they've helped develop me to the speaker and the facilitator that I am today. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm one of the best in the world at what I do. I apply the same exact tenacity and the willingness to get better in order to make an impact and to be the best in speaking as I did in professional wrestling so many years ago. And I love every single student that I'm able to get to connect with. It's an honor, it's a privilege to be able to share my story, because someone like me who's been through what I've been through, quite frankly, I'm not even supposed to be here, and I don't take that for granted, and I don't take that lightly. So if I get the opportunity to talk to your kids, speak with your kids about grit, about tenacity, about not letting what happens to us define who we are, I hop at the opportunity to do that, and I'm so grateful that I can. But thank you for the question, and thanks everybody for the questions. See you next time.